They laughed. The clinking of glasses still rings in my ears. "Here's to stupid relatives with money," my mother toasted, her voice sharp with that mocking sweetness she reserved only for me. And they all, every single one of them, raised their glasses. My siblings, my cousins, even my father, silent but smiling. I stood in the kitchen doorway, unnoticed. My chest tightened, not from shock, because deep down I had always known they saw me as less, but from the clarity that washed over me. This was confirmation, cold, undeniable proof. I didn't cry. I memorized every face that smirked when my mother called me dumb. Once I thought being the odd one out was temporary, that my family's sharp edges would soften if I proved myself. I had worked hard, built a business from scratch, turned long nights into wealth they didn't understand. Money gave me access to a world they couldn't reach, yet to them I was still the fool who stumbled over words, the child who asked too many questions, the relative they could dismiss with a laugh. I wanted to believe blood meant loyalty. That illusion died the night of that toast. After that, I began watching them differently. The calls only came when they needed something, a loan, a favor, a venue. They flattered me when I said yes, vanished when I declined. My country house became their favorite playground. They treated it as their own, never thanking me, never asking. And then came the final insult, my sister's engagement party. My mother announced it like a royal decree. "We'll host it at your house, of course. It's big enough, and besides, you barely use it." Not a question, a statement. Everyone agreed, laughing, as if my silence confirmed it. That night I lay awake in my country house, staring at the ceiling. The same house they called my dumb luck, the same house they used as a backdrop for their perfect lives. Their words echoed, sharp and humiliating. And that's when the plan began to take shape. I didn't confront them. Confrontation gives power to the guilty. No, I chose precision. Step 1, I called my lawyer. The deed, already in my name, would remain locked tighter than their smug smiles. The house was mine, legally and irrevocably. Step 2, security. Discreet cameras, reinforced gates, new codes. I paid extra for silence. Step 3, timing. I waited, smiled when my mother called with details about florists and caterers, nodded when my sister bragged about her dream party by the lake. I let them spin their fantasy. Every word they spoke tied them tighter to the rope I would pull. The day arrived. I sat in the study, coffee in hand, watching the cameras. Cars rolled up the driveway, one after another. Expensive rentals, gaudy decorations spilling from trunks, laughter floating on the air. They carried boxes, balloons, trays of champagne. They didn't knock. They didn't call. They marched up to the front door like they owned it. And then, silence. Confusion. The key didn't work. One by one they tried, jiggling, forcing, laughing nervously. My sister pounded on the door, heels clicking in frustration. My mother shouted my name, voice sharp, impatient. Inside, I sipped my coffee and listened. When I finally stepped outside, their faces shifted. Relief first, then irritation. "What's going on?" my sister snapped. "Did you change the locks?" my mother demanded, as if the idea were absurd. I looked at them, this crowd of people who had cheered my humiliation, and I smiled, calm, controlled, deadly quiet. "Yes," I said. I pulled the new set of keys from my pocket, dangling them just long enough for them to see. Then I slid them back inside. "This is my house, and you're not welcome." The words hit harder than any punch. They sputtered, "You can't be serious. Don't be childish. This is family." Family. the same word they weaponized when it suited them. I turned toward the gate. With one press of the remote, the locks clicked shut. Steel bars sealed their path. My mother's face twisted, her composure unraveling as she realized she had no power here. "You'll regret this," she hissed. I didn't answer. I simply turned back inside, their voices muffled by the glass. As I walked through the quiet halls of my country house, I felt something I hadn't in years: peace. Not the fragile kind that depends on others' approval, but the solid kind that comes from reclaiming control. They thought I was dumb enough to bankroll their lives, dumb enough to tolerate their cruelty, dumb enough to let them use me forever. But I wasn't dumb. I was patient. And patience, when sharpened by betrayal, becomes the sharpest revenge. That night, while they scrambled to find another venue, I lit a fire in the fireplace and opened a bottle of wine. Alone, but not lonely. Their calls flooded my phone. I let them ring.